What if the most powerful form of revenge wasn't loud, aggressive, or dramatic, but silent, slow, and so effective they never saw it coming? Let that question echo. Because the truth is, most people think revenge means confrontation. They imagine it with fire, anger, and sharp words. But Stoic philosophy offers something far more dangerous: growth. Not just any growth, silent growth. The kind that doesn't announce itself. The kind that doesn't ask for validation. The kind that happens when you stop proving and start evolving. See, the moment someone tries to tear you down, disrespect you, sabotage you, diminish you, they expect a reaction. That's how they measure their impact. They want to know they got to you. They don't expect silence. They don't expect distance. And they definitely don't expect transformation. Because silence, it's not weakness. It's pressure building. It's energy redirected. It's you taking everything they threw at you and turning it into fuel. You walk away, not to escape, but to rebuild. You go quiet, not because you're broken, but because you're focused. You stop talking, not because you lost, but because you're done wasting breath on those who never deserved it. And as you grow, something strange happens. They start watching. They don't admit it, but they do. They check your life like it's a page they used to write on and now can't edit. They feel the gap widening, and they start realizing they were just a chapter. You're writing the whole book now. That's the beauty of a Stoic comeback. You don't return with noise. You return with purpose. And the most painful thing for them isn't your anger. It's your absence. You didn't destroy them. You simply outgrew the space where they could reach you. And that is a revenge they never planned for. There's something they never expect when they try to break you. Your silence becoming strategy. Most people assume silence means surrender. They think if you're not responding, it's because you're hurt, stuck, or unsure. But the Stoic path teaches something else, something sharper. Silence is a test, not of them, of you. It's the space where you decide whether their behavior deserves your reaction or your evolution. Because let's be honest, anyone can clap back. Anyone can lash out. But it takes real strength to do nothing on the outside while you're building everything on the inside. The people who tried to tear you down wanted attention. They wanted your emotional energy. But when you give them silence, you take that power back. They say, "You've changed." But what they really mean is, "I can't manipulate you anymore." They say, "You're distant." But what they feel is, "I've lost access." And here's the twist. You're not being cold. You're being clear. You're not being petty. You're being precise. You're not punishing them. You're just removing yourself from the space where their chaos used to reach you. That's the difference between reaction and growth. Reaction looks like fire. Growth feels like gravity, pulling you inward, grounding you deeper. And as you stay silent, something else begins. The rebuild, not just of your environment, but of your mindset, your focus, your habits, your entire frequency. Silence gives birth to strategy, and strategy gives birth to something even greater: peace. Not the peace that comes when others stop attacking, but the peace that comes when you stop needing to prove you've survived. You're not here to prove anything anymore. You're here to live like someone who already has. And that mindset, it's untouchable. The hardest part of growth is not the pain, it's the invisibility. No one sees you when you're rebuilding. No one claps when you choose peace instead of proving a point. And no one celebrates when you walk away quietly instead of staying to argue. But that's what makes silent growth so powerful. It doesn't feed on attention. It doesn't ask for witnesses. It happens in shadows, on your worst days, behind your calmest words. And yet, those are the moments that shape the strongest version of you. Because the truth is, growth doesn't feel like a breakthrough. It feels like losing parts of yourself you thought you needed. It feels like not responding when every part of you wants to. It feels like choosing clarity over chaos, again and again. That's not weakness, that's training. You're training your mind to be still when triggered. You're training your heart to stay steady when tested. You're training your soul to stop chasing people who only see your value when it benefits them. And slowly, without announcements, you become untouchable. They can't find the old version of you anymore. Not because you're hiding, because you've outgrown it. You don't shrink yourself to be understood. You don't bend to keep the peace. You don't show up where you're not valued. And here's the most brutal part of silent revenge. You stop needing them to know they lost you. That's when they feel it most. Not when you lash out. Not when you explain. But when you vanish. Without drama. Without closure. Without a final word. That's how silence wins. And if you're still here, listening, it means something in this silence is waking up in you too. Subscribe now, because what's coming next will finally explain the part of you that no one else has ever understood. There's a moment, quiet, sudden, and unannounced, when you realize you're no longer reacting the way you used to. Someone says something sharp, and you don't flinch. They try to pull you into chaos, and you stay calm. They test your silence, and you don't break it. That's when you know you've detached. Not emotionally numb, not passive, just free. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you've stopped outsourcing your peace. You no longer let their mood decide your energy. You no longer let their words dictate your identity. You no longer let their presence control your direction. And the power in that, it's terrifying to them. Because now, they can't bait you. They can't guilt you. They can't drag you back into old patterns where you explain yourself just to stay accepted. And that's what they miss most. Not your attention, but your vulnerability. They miss the version of you who over-explained, who tried to fix what wasn't yours to fix, who stayed in rooms where you weren't respected just to keep the peace. But now, you sit different. You speak less. You see through the noise. Because once you grow, you don't just move differently. You feel different. And others feel it too. They may not say it out loud, but they watch you with unfamiliar eyes. They notice the distance, but what they really feel is that the old door they used to knock on is gone, and in its place, a new version of you, one that doesn't seek revenge because growth already did the work. The highest form of revenge is not becoming who they feared. It's becoming someone so focused they no longer matter. The biggest lie they told you is that in order to win, someone else has to lose. That belief kept you stuck in cycles of proving, explaining, and performing. It made you believe that revenge had to be visible, that they had to see you rise in order for it to count. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. The moment you stop needing them to know, you've already won. Because what they don't realize is that their presence in your life was never the prize. Your peace was, your time was, your focus was. When you stop chasing closure, something strange happens. You find clarity, and in that clarity, you see that revenge isn't about making them regret. It's about refusing to make them relevant. You stop thinking about what they did. You stop checking if they're watching. You stop waiting for the apology that's never coming. Instead, you pour that energy into yourself, your vision, your healing, your next level. And the more you grow, the more invisible they become. You don't mute them. You outgrow the volume they used to hold in your mind. You don't erase them. You simply stop needing them to be part of your story. That's the irony of real revenge. It looks like indifference. It feels like distance. But underneath, it's transformation. You're not here to replay old pain. You're here to write new peace. And peace is the loudest silence you'll ever carry. They didn't see this version of you coming. The one who didn't argue. The one who didn't collapse. The one who didn't need to be loud to be unshakable. And now you're not trying to be heard. You've become someone who speaks by presence, not volume. By alignment, not performance. By peace, not noise. That's what true growth looks like. It's quiet, but it's undeniable. It's the kind of strength that doesn't ask for recognition, but makes people notice anyway. You don't walk into rooms seeking validation anymore. You enter as the version of you who already knows who they are, knows what they're not, knows they're not here to play games just to be seen. This isn't revenge. This is resurrection. You didn't come back to show them who they lost. You came back to meet the version of yourself you almost forgot you could be. That's what Stoic detachment really is. It's not absence. It's awareness. It's not avoidance. It's elevation. And here's the real twist. You didn't outgrow them to hurt them. You outgrew them because you stopped waiting for them to catch up. They may still be stuck in old games, but you moved on to your next level, and it doesn't need their approval. It never did. So here's the question that you'll carry with you after this. What if your silence isn't just your healing, but their loudest lesson? If that hits something deep, subscribe now, because what comes next is for the version of you that's done shrinking. And hey, tell me in the comments, have you ever grown so far that someone who once knew you couldn't even recognize the new you? I'm here, reading, and trust me, so are others who needed to hear this too.